Hey guys, Toolman Tim here. Welcome back to the workshop where we build business, create community, find freedom, and share success. It's Tuesday, which means it's time for another installment of Toolbox Tuesday, the series where I review products that I love, things that I use on a regular basis, and this week I've got something that I have had kicking around in my junk drawer for years. This isn't the original tube I bought, but it sure looks like it might be. But this week I'm going to extol you on the virtues of GOO. Alright guys, real quick before we dive into the review, if you're new here and you want to know more about who I am and our community, go by toolmantim.co, that's toolmantim.co, to find out everything there is to know about me, my social media links. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, grab the link in the description below. It's toolman__Tim. Give me a follow. You'll see some previews of upcoming products that I'm going to do reviews on, projects I'm working on in my handyman business, and just stuff in my day-to-day life. So give me a follow down there and give me a DM or a shout out to let me know that you did. Alright guys, so GOO, like I said, is one of those products that pays for itself on its first use. And there's enough in one of these tubes to fix a good 8 or 10 shoes for sure. Once people in your family know that you have this, they all seem to come to you because I like to brag about these products. But I fixed 2 pairs of tennis shoes for my sister-in-law. I fixed 2 pairs of fancy boots for my daughter, a couple of pairs of runners for my kids, and I've even attempted, somewhat successfully, to fix an air hole leak in my inflatable hot tub, and it worked pretty good. If I'd let it set up just a little longer, I think I'd have been real successful. But this is one of those things that if you haven't run out and picked one up, it's honestly incredible. You got to have it. And like I said, you don't use a ton of it. You end up buying it, use it once, you throw it in your junk drawer, and it sits there for months or years on end. And it just stays good forever. It's got a 4.5 star rating out of 800 reviews on Amazon. And this is one of those products that I found way back years and years ago when I worked at Home Hardware, when my wife and I really didn't have more than a couple of pennies to pinch together. I had a pair of work boots that I needed to keep going because I really couldn't afford to buy myself a new pair of boots. So the guy said, go up in the automotive section and pick up some GOO. I'm not really sure what GOO was doing up in the automotive section, but that's where it was. And this shit really, really worked. I used it. I got a couple more years out of the boots. I was happy. It cost me, usually these tubes cost like 12 to 15 bucks in Canada, unless you see them in a discount bin or on sale, that sort of thing, but a little bit cheaper in the States. I've only ever used the clear stuff. The clear stuff works perfectly. They also have a black one out there, and I just seen recently they have a leather version as well. So I think it's kind of, I don't know if it has any extra additives or not. It just has that leather brown color. But I've used the clear, and honestly for footwear, anything that you're beating up, scuffing up, this stuff goes in there and it just disappears. So what's this stuff made out of? Well, it's basically a rubber cement with a degreaser and solvent and a synthetic rubber added. Cricket players use it on the end of their bats. Skateboarders use it to fix up their skating shoes and to reinforce them before they end up, tearing them to pieces. Remote control airplane hobbyists use it to weatherproof and waterproof electronics and that sort of thing. How do you apply it? Well, basically it's simple. So say you got a shoe where the sole's starting to come off. You pull the sole back, you give it a good little squirt of that stuff in there. Kind of stinks, but it's not too bad. Squish it back into place. And the key is to add mechanical support for, say, overnight or 24 hours if you can handle it. So what I usually do is if it's a sole, I'll end up putting the stuff in there, and then I'll use one of those Irwin quick clamps to clamp it down if I can, or a few heavy books on top of the shoe. Whatever it is, try to clamp it in a way you're not going to deform the shoe. But if you can do that, that stuff is golden. When you're done, your shoe's as good as new, and if it's going to tear somewhere else, because I've never had the GOO tear around that seam once it's been sealed. So I did a little digging like I always do when I do these reviews. I go on Amazon, read other people's thoughts about it. I go to the manufacturer's website and read and see what they have to say about the product. And one of the funny things I seen on there was it said that it works on rubber, cement, and glass. And I mean, I guess if you're Cinderella and you have glass shoes, that would work. But if you have cement shoes, I think we got bigger problems in needing to fix a tear in them. But, anyway, it's good for all that. So if you want to use it for something outside of footwear, go for it. But like I said, this is the type of product that's kicked around in my junk drawer for years. I love it. This is probably the 3rd tube I've had in my married life. We've been married over 15 years now. And it lasts forever. I mean, look at this. I lost the cap, didn't even realize I did. The top came out a little bit, squirted out, dried off, and it's still completely pliable inside the tube. So this is one of those products that's just so easy for me to recommend because I've used it for years. It's saved me money. It's one of those things, if you invest a little bit of money in it, it's going to save you a lot of money in the long run. So, hope you guys like learning a little bit about Shoe Goo. If you've never heard of it before, most old men like me have, but if you happen to be one of the strange ones out there that haven't, give it a shot. It's worth it. Next time you get, people, we just don't like to fix things anymore. But a lot of times with footwear, they haven't worn out, they just started tearing. So try that, give it a shot. All right, guys, that's it for me. Like I said, if you're new and you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, stick around, introduce yourself in the comments below. Let us know who you are, interact with the community, share your knowledge. That's what I'm here for. I love to learn from you guys as much as I love to teach everyone else. So that's it for me this week, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me at the workshop. And as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week.